Hi everybody, it's Galactic Man Larry here again with another Hiya Toys action figure review, and today we have in front of us from Judge Dredd, well, the Judge Fear, Judge Dredd, and Judge Anderson figures, which are in, if I'm right, 4-inch scale, and they have this very nice packaging with the Dredd, like police insignia badge, whatever, on them. In the back, you only have like legal information and the address and their social media and all of that, and nothing really important. Well, I mean, yeah, just information. For someone living in Europe, you get them around 22 to 30 euros. They're a bit pricey for the scale, but they're really well made. Anyway, let's check that little illustration there, because that's a little something. I mean, we're checking the packaging. Check that Judge Fear there, looking cool with the Hiya logo. Here you have Judge Dredd looking cool with the Hiya logo there, and Judge Anderson looking really cool as well with the Hiya logo. She's the most realistic looking in that comic book style. And there you have Judge Dredd, Judge Fear, and Judge Anderson out of the packaging with everything they come with. And they all come with alternate hands. Actually, these are the hands that Judge Dredd came with. This one is just like a relaxed hand. I mean, two of them. They are very nicely painted. I mean, the whole figures, all three of them, they have very nice paint applications and a lot of paint. You can see it has like a light green, like lime green, and it has like a spray in this from the low direction, or maybe it's the dark green with a spray of light green, whatever. It has two different greens, and it has a little bit of black spots for the knuckles there. Judge Anderson, she comes with this. I mean, these are the hands she came with in the packaging, also like relaxed hands. And there you can see for yourself again, dark and light green, and very nice. I mean, the sculpt is really nicely done, and all of these hands for all three figures, they plug in through ball pegs. Of course, they're small, so you have to be careful. And for Judge Fear, you have like the more like unique hands of these three. I don't have the rest of the figures. I don't know if I will get them. These are the ones that I really wanted to get. I don't know nothing about this property. I mean, I just know it exists. I know there's a film with Sylvester Stallone from the 90s, but I never really, I mean, I watched part of it. Maybe one day I'll watch it, but I am sure, I mean, because of this character, for example, that there's a lot more in the comics as usual. Anyway, or graphic novels. There you have the hands for Judge Fear. These are the ones he came with in the box. And again, ball peg. So that's a good thing, and it's a very nice sculpt for all these hands. Now, taking that out of the way, Judge Dredd comes with this base, which I think it's, I mean, all of these three, this is like unique to him, because this other one for Judge Fear, if you can see, it's different, as well as this one which came with Judge Anderson. She came with the same which Judge Fear came with. I guess, or I want to think that's very random, and these are the bits here which help you to, you know, these bases have these things. You can do it like this. I mean, they have the slots there, you know, and there you can just build a whole, you know, a much larger surface. Of course, you just combine it however you want. You can do it like this or like that. In any case, there if you have several figures there, you can have like a part of your diorama is already there, you know. Anyway, those are the bases. You can just use all of that plastic bits. Now the figures, let's start with Dredd. I mean, he's the title character. Let's just start with him. There you can see he has like his huge shoulder pauldrons, and I guess many people are just like thinking like, how are these pieces hindering and floating around there? I mean, the shoulders, I don't know if you can see there, there you can see they have like this huge peg, which doesn't really get in the way for lifting the arm. I mean, it doesn't even get up to 90, but I mean, for that huge chunk of plastic, you still have a lot of movement. I put the figures in hot water because there was a lot of stiffness there, or paint was like sticking, getting the joints to not move, so I needed to do that procedure to unfreeze the joints of my figures. There you can see, I mean, it has gold paint, and it has also like a patina or a wash of like coppery paint. It has the same situation for all the green parts, like dark and light sprays of green on top of it. I'll guess it's light on top of the dark. There you can see his like belt buckle with the, I would say, the American colors there, like almost American flag thing there. Even I don't know if this comic, well, I know nothing. I mean, the author, was he not like British? He passed away a couple of years ago. Anyway, you can see his badge there, Dredd, and the chain here is just sculpted plastic for this guy. I'm saying that because Judge Fear has some actual metal chains. And there you can see the hands. I already put the guns in. The hands, now it's winter here, so it's the plastic was very cold and it was very stiff, so I already put the hands there. I mean, they hold them nicely, but I had to put the whole thing into hot water and then put the gun in, as well as the club, as it was flexible, I mean the plastic. And you can also just slide the gun here, I mean, in this direction, just slide it in. It slides very nicely into that holster, but I mean, honestly, I'm keeping my figures wielding their weapons most of the time. I don't know. Anyway, I mean, in this case at least. Sorry that I'm not showing how it holsters. It's just like really, it's very cold now, and the whole thing would be a bit problematic. He has a peg there in one of his feet for the base, which, I mean, each of these bases only have one peg, so I don't know why they decided just to use one peg. I mean, I would have been gone like the Valaverse way and put 2, 3, 4 pegs on those rather large bases. I mean, for these characters, for this scale, the bases are generous in surface. There you can see also the joints is a bit, the system looks a bit like Figuarts and all of that kind of figures or collectibles. Anyway, we'll check Anderson now, Judge Anderson. I was like afraid if the face would come out nicely, or if it would be like the promo shots would be great and the actual figure would look dreadful. Haha. Anyway, she came out really nicely for the scale. That's a really nice paint job. I mean, the eyes could be like a micromade or whatever, like a tad upwards. I mean, she's good the way she is, but if you would look to the sculpt even closer, it could be even like a little bit, I mean, both eyes could be just like a hair higher. Anyway, you know, the actual paint job. And there you can see again like gold and some patina. Sorry for the focus. She has also some, like, her hair is blonde, and she has some like overlay of darker blonde or even orangish flashes or lights, whatever it's called. She has even some paint for her earring there, only one side. She only has PSI there instead of well, she's Anderson, she's not like Judge Greed or something. Anyway, there you can see again the belt and all the zippers like Dredd, nicely painted, and again the greens there very nicely applied. Now this guy, for me, it really took my attention the first time I saw this guy, like when they announced him like 2 years ago, something like that. Just look at that head sculpt, like a kind of medieval helmet, very gothic and dark. And yeah, I mean, the paint here on this side of the grill is a bit missing, the you know, the yellow and red there. I have like a little spot here of silver. looking through, but it's not that bad. But I really like that head sculpt. I mean, that's the main reason I got this guy. He's clearly not a human. He's like some demonic character, some netherworld thing. Judge Fear, his stuff of nightmares, and he does say there fear, and you can see he has these weird tiny little heads there looking awful. I mean, nicely detailed, but they look like terrible there. Terrible in a good sense. They do are. I mean, these guy those look like someone you wouldn't like to meet on the streets. And he's holding his accessory. Let's actually I just put it there. Is this thing with an actual chain? This I forgot the name of these traps. Bear trap. Are they called bear traps? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it must be painful to step on one of these, and you can see it's very nicely painted. It looks weathered. It's gunmetal with looks like little flashes of dry brush, or maybe it's light silver with a lot of wash on it. I don't know, something like that. And you can see also his pauldrons there, very like they have patina as well, gunmetal with a lot of rust, or these things, they look nicely. These figures really look good, and yeah, that's why I got them. Articulation wise, this guy can look up that far. I mean, this is the only one which has the whole neck and head in one piece, but hey, the movement is good. It's on a ball peg, and he has enough clearance, and looking up it's not that much, but looking down is there. Tilt to the sides is there. Everything's there. You can turn the arms, I don't know if all the way, you can turn the arms all the way around actually with that whole pauldron there. You can lift them up to that far. This one goes a bit up to 90 even, because it all depends on the placement of the peg that holds that shoulder, or how the arm actually is also sculpted. This guy has a little bit of a weird thing for the forearms. Of course, the bicep cut is more like in the elbow because of the scale, I would say. And the hands are in ball joint, ball pegs, I told you already. But the sculpt for his arms, he came like this on the packaging, and that made sense to me. But like that, the actual swivel here is going onwards, which is also good. But if you want to bend the elbow, you have to turn it around. I mean, these are of course very stylized. I don't need to tell you that. You can see that yourself. So it was just a bit weird. The musculature of this guy, Judge Dredd, was a bit like the forearm, the way the swivel is placed, I was a bit confused. You can see his gun. I didn't talk about it. It's very unique to these characters. I mean, both his and Anderson's are the same. I mean, they work at the same place. Very much the same gun, and also the same silver with brown baton here. Just tiny baseball bat. It's more like, of course, a police baton or whatever it's called. He can bend backwards that far. He can double ball peg, a ball diaphragm, a ball waist, and he can do all the movement, and I'm not forcing anything, and he has a decent amount of crunch forward. I mean, for the scale is not bad, and a decent amount, of course, even more backwards as always, but a nice tilt to the sides and all of that. The legs, you can see this guy, his legs are a little bit wiggly. If you push them upwards, which I just revealed there, that he has a drop down mechanism, which is, I wasn't expecting that for this scale, but hey, it's there. So he has a drop down so that he can kick forward a little bit more. And like Figuarts or Figma, you can see there like the thigh movement, the thigh swivel is more like hidden. But hey, you have it, it's there, it's just hidden. Again, he can do that much splits, which I guess is good for the scale. He has double jointed, which is not common for the scale, pinless knees that can bend that far. You can see already the upper leg is much shorter than the lower leg, including the feet. The feet can bend backwards that far, which is a good range, forward that far all the way. and this guy has a little bit of range. The ankle rocker is a bit flat, but it will help for adjustments. Could be much better, definitely, but it's something. At least it's there, you know. Now this girl Anderson, again, the head is on a double ball peg, so she has all the movement there. This shoulder pad here, or this pauldron, that one gets in the way, but you can maneuver to avoid it, you know. In any case, she can look all the way up, well, all the way, that far, all the way down, quite much to the sides. He has a nice amount of movement, better than many 6-inch figures from certain brands. Anyway, she can lift her arms up to 90, at least that one. Let's see this one, both of them up to 90. Of course, that pauldron will move the head. She has this one. Sadly, I cannot move it, and I tried everything. I put it into hot water several times. This elbow is just swiveling, but I'm not able to, you know, I don't want to keep forcing that thing, you know, because otherwise I will snap it. And maybe it's already quite forced. I mean, I abused it a little bit. Anyway, the hand again, ball peg, and yeah. And now this one did move. It's a bit stiff, but it moves there. You can see, so you can aim in directions, and you can turn the arms. I don't know if all the way, of course not, with all these very specific pauldrons and all of that. But you can, I mean, you can fiddle it. You will find your way if you try. You will get at least some decent poses, and yeah, I don't know if every pose, but you will get some. The diaphragm, I mean, she has the same thing as Dredd, like two ball pegs, one of at the diaphragm, one at the waist. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to line, to just make her stand totally straight, but hey, we want to pose them, right? She can bend backwards that far, is not much, sorry. She can bend forwards that far, also not much, but it's a tinier figure than Dredd, which she can bend all the way to the side, all the way, a decent amount to the other side. She has also drop down mechanism. She has a little bit less splits, but still a decent amount. What else? Yes, if you don't use the drop down, you won't be able to lift the leg that much, but if you use it, you will get to almost 90, and it will get a bit to the side due to the, you know, the shape here of the crotch piece. She has also a hidden thigh cut, you know, the way this joint, the hips are placed, and yeah, it goes into the upper leg and all of that, and you can turn it around. That's as far as you can bend her legs backwards, and you can see again long stylized comic booky legs. You can see she can bend the feet that far forward. I mean, that was backwards, this is forward, and you can turn at the ankle. She has a better situation, a better angle than Dredd. This came super frozen, and I was able to make it move just through the magic of hot water, you know. Now Judge Fear, his head is the most hindered of all of them, or of all three of them. I mean, but yeah, he has of course these like bat wings on the sides of the helmet, and he only lifts a little. It only wiggles a little bit. It's on a ball peg. I mean, I checked that when I put him into hot water. His diaphragm is only, I mean, no diaphragm, but he has a ball at the waist, and I guess it already got really cold. Actually, I think he didn't have much range. He can just turn around a little bit, and he can bend like almost nothing. So this one is quite limited there in the movement department on the waist and torso, but the looks of the figure make for it. I mean, this guy is really, yeah, very unique looking and very cool looking in my opinion. The cape is of course in the head, and it also the shoulder pads, I mean, it goes around the neck, that's what I wanted to say, and it's held by the pegs there of the shoulder pads. The cape has holes, so the cape hangs around. The cape was all crinkly, as it came out of the packaging. So I put the whole figure in hot water, included the cape, and now it just drapes nicely and it's less crinkly. You can still see that, maybe you can see that crinkle line here, because it was all like crushed there into the tray, the plastic tray, you know. But anyway, now he's movable and he can turn around a little bit. Again, not much bending forward or backward, that's a bit sad. He has also the drop down at the legs. I didn't do the arms, I'll come back to that. But he can kick only a little bit. I mean, he's the, well, if you turn it around you get a bit more range, but he's the most hindered of the three on the leg department, on the, at least the hips. He can do that much splits, which is not bad. He can again kick up forward just with quite an angle. He can kick backward a little bit. He has also double jointed pinless knees that can bend that far, so that's good. And he has feet that can go backwards that far. I mean, all the way back, all the way forward, at least quite a lot. And he has a decent ankle rocker. It was also all like glued. It was not glue, but the paint, you can see here some residue. The paint was sticking to the plastic, so I had to do that with hot water. Now he moves nicely, and it's not loose, but it moves. Now the arms can go all the way around. I mean, all the way. Can go backwards that far. You can lift them. They can actually go all the way, but of course you have the cape, you don't want to go all the way, but they could, and they can lift that far. So what he doesn't have for the legs, he does have for his thin long arms. There you can see you have a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and there's where you turn your arms around, and that's good. And his hands are the ones which have more range because of the way, the shape of his like sleeve. And yes, that here is an option. Pretty cool, right? Now for size comparisons, there you have the Hiya toys, Judge Dredd, Fear and Anderson next to War Machine, Iron Man Mark II and the Amazing Spider-Man, next to a Stormtrooper and the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, next to the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie Cobra Commander and, if I'm right, a Pursuit of Cobra Techno Viper, and next to Shay Vizsla, Darth Revan, Darth Vader and Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, all of them from the vintage collection. You can see that these Judge Dredd figures might scale a bit larger than these vintage collection ones. I mean, Darth Vader is still okay, or Revan, or actually all of these are okay. I mean, Anderson looks very tall in comparison to Vader, but yeah, I mean, they pass good together, but I guess these are 4-inch scale or something like that, and the vintage collection is 3.75 scale. Anyway, great figures, all these three Judge Dredd characters. I really like having them. They are a bit fiddly when you take them out of the box. I mean, to turn all the shoulders, of course, with these pauldrons is, yeah, you always have to be careful. And it limits the posability a little bit. You still have a lot of posability, and you just have to be careful when you take them out of the box. If you decide to get these figures, I can recommend, but just again, you might have to use hot water to unfreeze or unstick some pieces that are kind of glued due to the paint, or things might be frozen. You don't want to force the small joints or the thin joints, you know. Please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe and all of that good stuff. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.